Welcome to Surviving to Thriving with Clare Downham, where I share insights on the inside-out nature of life so you can stop the inner critic running the show and step into thriving in every aspect of your life. I hope you find this episode helpful. So today on how to stop feeling grumpy. I'm making this video for myself today because I have just felt very grumpy for the last few days. I don't know why. I guess in the past I would have got super caught up in the reasons why I'm feeling grumpy. Is it the moon, a full or a new moon perhaps, or some moon in the middle, a waxing one or a waning one? Is it the weather? Is it the Mars Mercury retrograde thingamajig, which I really know nothing about? I just know it's the thing. Is it all these, like, what is it? And that would send me into a spiral of doom, is probably the best way to describe it, in that I would then just end up exhausted trying to find the answer to why I was feeling the way I was feeling. I mean, I'll tell you how I've been feeling, just like I cannot be bothered with any of it really, the last few days. And I'm not afraid to share this here because I think sometimes for me, just turning up, turning up on the internet and talking about something can helps me to process it. So really sorry, everybody. I'm just doing like live therapy on myself and live journaling. Enjoy. And it just helps to talk it through. And as I'm talking now, I can feel really emotional because for me, the side issue of feeling grumpy and just a bit out of it has been a real lack of productivity. And if you've watched any of these videos before, you'll know that productivity is my thing. Like it's still so important to me to be busy. That's the noise of the tissues coming out of the box for those that are listening later. It seems to be still not okay. It's becoming increasingly okay, but it still seems to me to be often just not okay for me to be not doing lots and lots of stuff. So, let's just take this sort of layer by layer. There's probably 3 or 4 things. We'll see where we end up that I really want to express here. So the first thing is that piece that I've just shared. The trying to work out why. And realizing that is not possible. You're not going to work out why you're feeling meh. I mean, meh's the word, actually. That would probably describe how I'm feeling the very best. I think it's just such a great word. I don't know who came up with that word, but I believe teenagers at some point in the not too distant past. So that's the first. So what we're looking at here is we wake up in a mood. And don't tell me you haven't. I know everybody here has woken up in a mood at some point. We then can go in all sorts of different directions with our thinking. And the first one is often to why do I feel this way? Now, my encouragement is to put that one down, first of all. You don't know why. I remember once listening to Clare Downham, and she said, how you feel and how you think in any moment is a product of so many different things. What your first grade or year 1 in the UK teacher said to you, or your parents said to you, how your gut bacteria is functioning, or your vagus nerve, as people like Joe Dispenza talk a lot about, that vagus nerve, how's that functioning? Where are your hormones at? What time of the month is it? As I've already mentioned, the moon, the Mars in retrograde, blah, blah, blah. And even your foot fungus, Clare Downham said in this one particular podcast, and I remember laughing out loud because, my goodness, it's so many different factors as to the mood that we're in. And I've noticed myself, and it's not been helpful, spiraling off into, I suffered burnout nearly 10 years ago. Am I still, do I still have adrenal fatigue? Is that what it is? Is that why I feel all cloudy headed and I just don't want to do anything? Is it that? Like, you can just end up spending so much energy. That's the first piece of thinking to put down. You don't know where it's coming from. I mean, if you had a really bender of a night last night and drank loads of wine, it might be that. Like, if I have sugar, I know my body doesn't like that, and it does tend to lower my mood, but I haven't had sugar in the last few days, so it doesn't seem to be that. So when you put down the very first the things that are very obvious, just don't go into this analysis of why you're feeling that way. So that's the first thing. The second thing then is to realise that it's okay to be grumpy. Like, I have a thing with Bruce now because I mostly see Bruce on a day-to-day basis, and I tend to be able to kind of, it's funny, isn't it? When I have I have some one-to-ones with people yesterday, I I managed to sprite myself up again, and poor old Bruce got the brunt of a sort of stroppy, moody Claire throughout the day. Like, know that it's normal. I remember I had a client, like, probably nearly 5 years ago now, who I spoke to, um, just after I'd come across this inside out understanding, and he came to see me, and we ended up having one session because his mind actually exploded in front of me. It was really cool. He said to me, "I'm waking up feeling grumpy every day." And I said, "And is that why you're here to talk to me then?" "Yeah, well, I want to stop doing." Well, maybe it doesn't matter that you wake up feeling grumpy, because, of course, as soon as we say it's not okay, then that's another layer of thinking. It's another layer of pain. It's another layer of suffering. It's another layer of that resistance to what is. What is that I'm in a bit of a grisly mood at the moment. But very interestingly, as I'm talking about this, I'm feeling a lot lighter hearted. It's very interesting, isn't it? How once we start sort of doing something and we stop focusing on it, how we're feeling, we stop thinking about ourselves, things seem to ease. Even though I'm talking about the thing, I'm talking about other things as well. And I'm starting to feel lighter hearted. I'm starting to feel less emotional. I'm starting to feel less grumpy. So if anybody does want to talk to me today, they will they might get a slightly better mooded person in the end, because I'm feeling some ease now. Um, so that's the second thing, though. The first thing is you don't know why you're feeling grumpy, and the second thing is it's okay for you to feel grumpy. It's normal. You're a human being. You're not an automaton. Automaton. Don't ever say a robot. You are not a robot. You can't switch off and on your emotions whenever you like. And the third thing is, like, just notice what kind of things you're thinking about. I suspect this week I've had a few things happen. We had a bit of a to-do at the weekend with an associate of our family, shall we call her, who had seemed to have settled down with certain behaviours and then came back with them again, which was a bit, and I got very caught up in that. So probably have wound myself up a little bit. I've been thinking about that a lot. Bruce has gone away, so I'm feeling a bit sad about that. So, I've got certain types of thinking, and knowing that, that the thing to know about then when we're feeling grumpy is that maybe that's not a good time to make a life-changing decision. It's not a good time to, decide I'm not going to have a business. Like this week, I've been like, oh, I don't want to do a business anymore. And it's really ridiculous. It's not a good time to make a big decision like that. Allowing ourselves just the space for it to sort of settle and pass through, because it always does, doesn't it? Because the moon shifts or whatever, it does ease, it does pass. It's all moving through as it's supposed to do, and that's okay. It really is. It's amazing to see how it passes. I mean, even in this 10 minutes while I've been talking to you, there has been a certain passing through of this feeling of grumpiness. I feel a little less grumpy now, folks. So might be worth catching up with me today or whenever. Yeah, so I just hope that's helpful. I hope that's just 3 little things to put down in terms of grumpiness, or just any mood that you find yourself in, whether you wake up that way or you find yourself in that mood during the day. Maybe it's not that much of a problem. But do warn the people around you. I always just tell Bruce, I say, "I'm in a bit of a mood today. You're probably gonna suffer." You're probably gonna I'm gonna but we laugh about it now, and I tend to laugh about it a lot more and break into laughter about this sort of feeling much more quickly. So I hope that's been helpful. I hope that helps you to be a little less grumpy today. But if you are feeling grumpy, it's fine. It's normal. You're allowed to feel grumpy. You're a human being. And, maybe just wallow in it for a little while. Don't try and positive think it out or do anything about it. We don't need to do that. Enjoy your grumpiness. But I really hope your mood lifts at some point in the not too distant future. Take care. Lots of love. I hope you found that helpful. Tatty bye. Thank you so much for spending this time with me on Surviving to Thriving. I hope this session has been helpful. If it resonated, I'd love for you to follow me and maybe share this episode with someone you care about. Until next time, be kind to yourself and trust your inner knowing.